Okay, it's coming up to 7 o'clock, so welcome everybody to this evening's Economy in Place Scrutiny meeting being held today, Thursday, the 20th of June 2024. I'd just like to make members aware that we are being recorded for broadcast at a later date. If members wish to speak on any of the items that we have this evening, could you raise your hand and use your microphones when asked to do so? Okay, we'll move on to business. Item 1 on the agenda is apologies. I've received the following apologies in the order I have. Apologies from Councillor Barry Panter, is substituted by Councillor Mark Holland. Councillor Jill Waring, who is substituted by Councillor Richard Adcock, and Councillor Jen Wheeldon, who is substituted by Councillor John Tack. Have any further apologies? So, as it's reported,
Councillor Dave Jones.
okay, thank you. Item 2 then is declarations of interest. Do any members have any declarations of interest on the items? Movement, so we'll take that as a no. Moving on to item 3. It's the minutes of the previous meeting. Now, I asked members before if the minutes can be received as a correct record. Blue chair. Yes, it's been moved. Thank you. Item 4 then is the first item of business for this evening, and it is the Town Deal and Future High Street Funds update. This report is found in your agenda back on pages 9 to 16. I will now hand over to Simon Mack, who will lead the report out to you.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, members. As Chair says, between pages 19 and 4, we've got the 9 and 14. Sorry, went backwards there. We've got the regular Future High Street Town Deal update. I'll just take you through the changes since last month. It's probably best if we do that rather than go through every individual item. You've seen, if you walk through the high street at the moment, that the high street improvements to the market have been started, taking some of the stalls out and the nipper parking and the entertainment space with the green grass and the curbs and work has started. That will probably go on until late June to get all that sorted, but that is well underway, which has been something that we're trying to get sorted for a number of months now, but that's good, ready for the summer. Your Place, the contract for the demolition works has now been placed by Capital Centric, and we're just getting a few licenses in place to start the actual demolition or removal of the outside facade, windows, doors, internal walls, etc., to get the concrete frame exposed. And we talked in the past that we're going to build from the frame. So we should see towards the end of this month, early next month, the boardings going up around the building with some real activity going on site, which will be a real plus for the town centre to see some more work started. Talking of works that have started, you'll hopefully have seen a new car park that is arisen out of the Rycroft site. We've got 2 bookends up and constructed where the lifts and the staircases will go, and I've actually got the frame going between the 2. And what they'll do, they'll finish that in the next couple of weeks and then start to clad the building and put the floors on. Some of the lower floors have already started to go in, so if you walk around, you can actually see how the shape and format of the car park is taking shape. So that's really exciting news. McCarthy and Stone residential development, that we are in the final stage of signing the legal agreement for the land purchase. That should hopefully be sorted by the end of the month. And then McCarthy and Stone will be submitting their planning application. They'll be cracking on with that site towards the end of the year, early next year. Aspire Housing have been working with Capital Centric on their portion of the Rycroft site, and they've now agreed a portion of the site which will go over to Aspire Housing for some townhouses, etc. Once we finish the car park on the Rycroft, as you know, we'll then close the Midway. And Capital Centric again will be working on plans for that, and we are hopeful that plans for the finished Your Place, finished Midway development, the Rycroft, and for the Capital Centric and Aspire, so 4 individual planning applications will be submitted either towards the end of this month or the beginning of next month, which is a couple of months ahead of schedule. into planning, so we'll be able to get those through planning in the autumn. We'll get you to starting those works subject to costs, etc., and getting planning permission early in the new year, which is great. And Astley Performing Arts Centre opened in March. I hope you all have a chance to go and see what's happening down there. It's quite an innovative small centre at the moment, but the idea is that they've grown from that into a new hopefully in the place, but we'll see how the business model goes. We just moved into Nutton, works progressing there in terms of planning permissions that are being obtained. Section 106 agreement for the Aspire site on High Street went through committee in May, and the former community centre site is going next month, I think. I've seen it in the process, but it is going through, which is good because that means that Aspire can actually start that work in Nutton, which is long awaited. The Enterprise Centre works have unfortunately been delayed. I'm trying to get an update from Staffordshire County Council on that, but they are keen to get that started because they've got the planning permission for that. Works on the Whammy have started, so the changing rooms, that is another big project we wanted to get underway. We had a few hiccups along the way, but they're now on site with a completion date of late 24, which is great. The other one we're trying to push through is the Zanzibar Enterprise Unit, which is the Aspire development on North Street. Morgan Sindel have been appointed by Aspire to design and build out that project. It's a much smaller project than the one they previously designed because they've had to pull that back on costs. But the enterprise units that are funded through the town deal on North Street are still in still very much requested and are being designed by Morgan Sindel. We've seen some early designs that are they should be quite cool and funky when they do start and get done. Digital Society, which is the Keele University, Keele in town, 55 Iron Market, that has started. The strip out works were finished towards the end of last year, and they've done some works to the roofs now, and they're just doing some more infrastructure work with the fit out. I've seen plans for that. It's going to be quite exciting. 4 floors of community space and teaching space that they'll have in there, which will hopefully launch in the autumn towards the end of the year, which is great. Charging points in the new car park have been awarded to a company called Zest, and they will be putting those charging points in on the ground floor for us as planned. So that's the only thing we need to do now for the car park is the ticketing machines, which went through cabinet, so we're going through a procurement process to get that sorted as well. Up in Kidsgrove, Chatterley Valley, there has been some delay. As you know, the that has now been resolved, and the works to the entrance and the main diversion should be finished towards the end of this month, with the road opening again in July. I know that's been quite a long wait to get that sorted because of the liquidation of the first contractors that they had. And the 2 other major projects up in Kidsgrove, the train station work and shared service hub, are all subject to the issues that we've got in the ground with Network Rail and the mining. So we've now managed to figure out how we get over those legal and insurance hurdles because of the requirement for Network Rail to have a very prohibitive insurance cover in place for works that are going on underground. With the cold water, they want to make sure that they've got sufficient cover and the works going to be undertaken in such a way that it won't stop the train line, etc. So we're working to get to the end of that problem, but hopefully that means works can start in the summer. Particularly on the shared service hub, we're just trying to design that around who's going into the building, etc. So we've got that work underway, but they are slightly delayed, but they are, we will get them delivered as soon as we can. That in short was a very quick update of what we've been doing in the last 6 weeks since we last met. And hopefully when we next meet again, we'll have some further progress and some actual more works on the ground you can actually see and then in your mind's eye when I'm talking to you rather than just words on a piece of paper. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Simon. Before I open it up to members, there is a question I have regarding the Zanzibar enterprise. Will something be put in place to keep that? I call it a but will something be put in place so that remains?
The design of the residential units is such that the there is going to be a garden or public space underneath the mill roof that was discovered when they took the old building down, so that will be visible going.
Section with new size. Members, do we have any questions or comments to ask either our officer or portfolio holder? Councillor Ward.
I think somebody ought to say something, Chair.
No, is that right?
First of all, I do apologise for asking this, but my memory is not as good as it used to be. Could Simon just explain the McCarthy and Stone residential development? What is actually involved in that? I know you've reported before, Simon, but it's been helpful. The other question I've got, Jen, is regarding the Astley Performing Arts. The report says that the centre was opened in March. Just wondered if we had any sort of feedback in terms of football visitors figures. And I know that the idea of moving the centre to Royal Place has been under consideration for some time. When are we likely to get a decision on it? And are other venues being looked at?
The Bathstone is a retirement residential block for over 55. So that there's a business model that they've got that they've thrown out across the country. And there's a new model that they're working on with us, which is McCarthy certainly the Waitrose we're now going to be getting in Sainsbury's. So there's still a quality product, but it's not the Waitrose. I think they've saturated the market for the Waitrose end, and so they're now coming down to the next level and stuff. So that'll be and it's just a well-run, well-designed quality product. The Astley Centre, well, we've had anecdotal feedback that it's going very well, but we haven't had figures back. They are very pleased with the way that it's performing and the football that they've got through. It's also an outreach as well, so that they've got a good program around it. They are talking in capital and centric now about the unit that they may well take in your place. The unit will be generic, because if they don't feel that then they can move because it's not performing well enough, whatever, they can stay where they are. But the grow-on unit that they would require is already being discussed with capital and centric, so it will be available to them if they are able to move.
Any other questions? No? Okay, so I'll ask our members happy to accept the recommendation that sets out in this report. See nodding of heads, score, so that's carried. Okay, so item 5 then is the Borough local plan update. I'll now invite Alan to read the report to you.
Meeting members, there's just a brief update on the local plan tonight. Just in terms of next steps on the plan, we've got a special economy and place scrutiny committee scheduled for the 11th of July. Now that meeting will consider the local plan before it then moves on to a full council meeting on the 24th of July. And at that meeting, the recommendation will be to approve the final draft plan for consultation for a minimum of 6 weeks over the summer and early autumn. That consultation will be at a more formal stage at Regulation 19. So what responses we'll be asking for is effectively in line with what the planning inspectorate asked us to seek views on. That is whether the plan is legally compliant, and then whether it achieves a number of tests that are set out in the National Planning Policy Framework. And those tests are covered in the report, but are briefly, as the plan been positively prepared in terms of meeting objectively assessed needs. Is it justified in respect of reflecting the evidence used to prepare the plan, looking at alternatives? Is it effective in terms of a deliverable strategy over the plan period? And then finally, is it consistent with national policy? So it will be on those issues that we'll seek views from local communities and other interested parties. The report also sets out in paragraph 225 the host of evidence-based documents that the company involved in producing. And then it confirms also that the plan is obviously still being drafted but will be published in time for the meeting of the 11th of July, so around the 4th of July. Oh, yes, and we've scheduled a Teams meeting with, for a local plan briefing, scheduled for the 8th of July by the Teams. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, do you have any questions for either Alan or people following? Absolutely, again, please.
Thank you, Chairman. I think at the last meeting, there was some discussion about the consultation period for the climate trial. Possibility of shifting it from 6 to 8 weeks. Notice in the report this evening, very firm commitment to 6 weeks. Can I explain why the decision was reached to not to go for 8 weeks?
I think, if the council looks, it speaks about a minimum 6 weeks. My hope is still that there will be 8 weeks. I also draw to members' attention the fact that, because we're having a special meeting of this committee, at which the draft will be discussed. In fact, the draft will of course be a public document. It won't be a meeting held in camera. Something we like to do. That the document will effectively be a public document from that point onwards. That means, of course, that anyone who wishes to read this document, it will be a fairly lengthy document, as I said, but then it does contain an awful lot of very important things, not just housing allocations, but also other things as well. That everyone will be able to read that manifestly. The portal for comments, and again, I think it's very important, as our officer says, to think about what sort of comments are invited at this stage. They're not quite the same as they were at the Reg 18 stage, but nonetheless, everyone can read that document, in fact, prior to the public going live, and therefore we will have a longer consultation period effectively anyway. Yeah, you won't be able to input anything, but if you read it as a public document by the time that's going to committee, you're then good to go from day one of the consultation period.
Any further questions? Councillor Broker.
Chair, just a quick one regarding this to Alan. On the 11th of July, will that be just for members here, or can members put that into? Just one question been asked, because I've seen it obviously on the pages. And the second one would be, have we got any kind of dates for the public consultation and meeting places for that? When they be actually established?
Yeah, as a public meeting, I think members of the public can come and read the meeting. I think there's requirements around questions if you want to ask as well. The website will refer to that. In terms of the public consultation dates, that will be confirmed in the report on the 11th of July. To have a bit more of a structure around the period and events and stuff. But I anticipate it will be held on a similar basis to the last stage of the version of the meeting.
Again, I think I'd like to stress there that what we'll do is make sure that all forms of feedback are available. So it won't just be the web portal. There will be, if you want to submit a written thing and such like that, will be absolutely fine. And I think, we've had some bad rumors in the past about this, so it'd be great for all members to stress the fact that, if you want to make a contribution to this, any way of making a contribution is acceptable.
If there are no further questions, then we will move to the recommendations. Our members happy to note the update on the progress of developing the new local plan. That's actually noted heads. That's carried. Item 6 then is the work programme, which is a regular feature to this and local scrutiny meetings. Looking at the working programme, we have The special meeting that's coming up on the 11th of July, as we know, the presentation of the local plan. And then we'll meet up again on the 12th of September to discuss HS2 updates.
So be the town dealing with local plan.
So that'll be on the 12th of September as well, okay? Yeah, the A33 bus gate is also it's on the special meeting. And pending is the bid update to be presented by the bid manager. Review of the 850 celebrations and planning enforcement and performance will be re-added to the work programme around December 2024. Members have any further things to add? Councillor Gordon?
Nothing to add, Chair, but just to answer. Special meeting over the bus gate. It's been on the look for some considerable time. I appreciate that this is large of an issue for health and well-being, but couldn't we just have what's the latest in that? Because my understanding is that ministers are actually looking at an alternative that won't involve the bus gate. So my question is, are we actually in a position to sort of turn around and say we don't need a special meeting because the bus gate proposal is quite frankly finished?
Okay, I will hand over to Simon, or maybe Rupert if he can add to the member's question. Rupert.
The similar question was asked at HW Scrutiny, and worked out input from Councillor Sweeney on this. I don't know if you want to add to this at all, but I believe that, as you said, the proposed landowner, which might mean this, which may not happen at all, this bus gate. So in which case there won't be any need for special meeting.
No indication we've seen, so that's obviously happy enough with that. Councillor Bowcott.
Yeah, I mean, just coming back to that, and I guess I feel like a kind of interest I would put that forward to you. Also, with the pop college, which is just down where that is. Obviously, 4 MP down there, and you can also purchase some houses now. Just wondering which houses they actually are, because either by Newcastle or Stoke going to be purchased. That's obviously, I was on the list of those actually Latin. And what's my next that's on Scrutiny. So then we know. Okay, thank you.
Response, Simon, or two?
They're on Stoke side of
Councillor Holland, please. I can see you're raring to go.
Sorry, Chair, I just thought I'd jump in to say, well, I think we should keep a watching brief on this because there's very small possibility that there could be a change of government in the next few weeks. I would hate to think that a future government would resurrect this awful plan that would cause tremendous harm to the economy and the people of the borough. But I share the feelings of other members and officers who've spoken to say, well, it does look as though at the present time, this is not something that is going to happen to us.
Your comments. Do any members have any further questions, comments, or wish to add to the programme? See shaking heads again, so we will move on from that. That's rescheduled then. Like I say, we'll come to item number 7, which is public question time, which we don't seem to have any. And item 8 is urgent business, which I've not been made aware of any. Item 9, which is the meeting of the next economy in place, which is a special meeting, which is in 3 weeks' time on the 11th of July. So all that's left for me to say is have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.